This movie follows a secret mission led by Bloodsport to destroy an alien research project known as Starfish. The film opens by introducing a man named Savant. Savant is a prisoner with elite hand-to-hand combat skills. He's offered a 10-year reduction in his sentence, but only if he agrees to join the Suicide Squad on a covert Black Ops mission. Savant accepts, and to keep him under control, a bomb is implanted in his head. If he disobeys, he'll be blown to pieces. Savant feels proud to be part of the infamous Suicide Squad. The team includes Colonel Rick Flag as the leader. Then we meet Boomer, an expert boomerang thrower, Mongol, the alien, Weasel, a humanoid weasel, Blackguard, Javelin, TDK, and my personal favorite, Harley Quinn. They're deployed on a secret mission in a place called Corto Maltese. While on the plane, they start getting to know each other. That's when we find out that Weasel is literally a weasel, and he once killed 27 children. This team is packed with incredibly skilled people, but they're all completely nuts. Eventually, they reach the shoreline and are dropped off from the plane. It turns out no one checked if Weasel could swim. Spoiler, he can't. Savant tries to save him and carries him to shore. The rest of the squad moves forward quietly, preparing for a stealth attack. But suddenly, Blackguard stands up and calls out to the enemy. He betrays the squad by revealing the mission. Even so, Blackguard is killed by the very people he sold out to. Boomer then jumps into action with his boomerang skills. TDK also steps in, using his ability to detach his limbs, but it's not enough. He runs out of time to finish off the enemy with his dismembered attacks. Mongol, being an alien, leaps onto a helicopter, dragging it down with her. The crash kills Boomer, and the explosion sets Mongol on fire. She dies too. Javelin and TDK are also shot and killed. After seeing the bloody mess, Savant panics and tries to run away. Waller, the woman who sent them on this mission, tries to contact him and orders him to continue. But Savant keeps running, forcing Waller to detonate the bomb in his head. He explodes into pieces. Turns out Waller had a backup plan. She sent a second team to attack from another direction. This team managed to infiltrate the island without being detected, and leading this second squad is none other than Bloodsport. Bloodsport is a world-class marksman, trained since childhood by his father to become a deadly assassin. At first, he refuses Waller's offer to join the squad, but Waller knows how to twist his arm. She brings in his daughter, Tyla. Tyla had been caught stealing a trendy smartwatch. Bloodsport is furious, not just because she stole, but because she did it sloppily and for such a cheap item. He tells her she should have stolen something more valuable and done it better. Tyla fires back, angry and disappointed that her father doesn't care about her. She's now facing jail time. Waller makes a deal. If Bloodsport joins the Suicide Squad, she'll make Tyla's charges disappear. Bloodsport is livid, but in the end, he agrees. He has no other choice. Waller then introduces him to the rest of his team. First is a man named Smith, known as Peacemaker. He has similar skills to Bloodsport, also trained in firearms since childhood. Next is King Shark, real name Nanaway. He can speak like a human and even enjoys reading books. Then there's Cleo, a woman who has the power to control rats. And finally, there's Abner, better known as Polka-Dot Man. Waller explains their secret mission. There's a small country called Corto Maltese located in South America. For the last 100 years, the region has been ruled by the Herrera family. But now, Silvio Luna and his right-hand man, General Mateo Suarez, have launched a coup and wiped out the entire Herrera bloodline. Luna is conducting a dangerous scientific experiment inside a facility called Jotunheim. This experiment is known as Project Starfish. In this project, Luna uses an extraterrestrial creature as a weapon, something that poses a serious threat to global security. Bloodsport and his team are tasked with destroying the entire Jotunheim facility and erasing all evidence of Project Starfish. But to get inside, they'll need the help of a geneticist known as the Thinker. Bloodsport and his team land on the beach and begin moving toward Jotunheim. Meanwhile, only 2 members of the first squad have survived, Colonel Rick Flag and Harley Quinn. Harley stumbles upon Javelin, who is dying. With his last breath, he gives Harley his beloved Javelin. entrusting it to her before he dies. Soon after, both Harley and Flag are captured by different groups. That night, Bloodsport and his squad camp out in the jungle. Abner, aka Polka-Dot Man, suddenly breaks out in glowing polka-dot-shaped rashes all over his body. He has to expel them quickly before they explode. At the same time, King Shark is starving and quietly sneaks up on Cleo while she sleeps, intending to eat her. Seeing this, Bloodsport opens fire on King Shark, but his body is so tough the bullets have no effect. Cleo wakes up and commands her army of rats to attack King Shark. Ironically, it's Bloodsport who's the most terrified. This is when we find out he has a deep phobia of rats.
And you're on a team with me?
Waller manages to locate Colonel Flag and learns he's being held captive. She contacts Bloodsport and orders him to rescue Flag. Bloodsport and his team launch a surprise attack on a military camp. The fight shows just how skilled and lethal Bloodsport and Peacemaker really are. But then, a twist. Bloodsport finds Flag, casually drinking tea with a woman named Sol Soria. Sol Soria turns out to be the leader of the resistance movement, which means Bloodsport and his squad just slaughtered a bunch of freedom fighters. Sol is furious at their reckless actions, but she's willing to ally with the devil himself if it means getting revenge on Luna, who massacred her entire family. The Thinker is a scientist who has been researching Project Starfish for the last 30 years. Luna forbids General Mateo from killing him, since he's the only one who fully understands the project, and the only one who can control the alien. Starfish is a deadly starfish-shaped alien creature. It's highly dangerous and almost impossible to control. While Flag was captured by freedom fighters, Harley, on the other hand, was captured by the ruling military, Luna's forces. She's brought before President Luna, who turns out to be a huge fan of Harley Quinn. He idolizes her for rebelling against America and becoming a symbol of anti-American resistance for the people of Corto Maltese. Luna even proposes to Harley, and to everyone's surprise, Harley is absolutely thrilled.
You're Josh.
After sleeping with Harley, Luna begins to talk about Jotunheim. The building, he explains, is a relic from the Nazi era, used by the Germans to experiment on starfish in Corto Maltese without alerting their enemies, dating all the way back to World War I. The Herrera family ruled the country by using this alien creature to their advantage. They would throw anyone who opposed them into the Jotunheim building, feeding them to the monster starfish that lurks inside. But right after Luna spills all this information, Harley shoots him dead.
Recently, I'd be on the lookout for red flags, and if I saw any, I would do the healthy thing.
Suddenly, Luna's guards storm into the room to capture her. With Luna gone, Mateo Suarez declares himself the new president. He even burns Luna's beloved birdcage in celebration. After capturing Harley, Suarez realizes that the US must have sent people to kill him. Now he's determined to capture the leader of the Suicide Squad. Abner, also known as Polka-Dot Man, opens up about how his body became covered in glowing, polka-dot-like rashes, all because of his mother's obsession. His mother was a scientist who was obsessed with turning her son into a superhero. She injected him with an interdimensional virus, which caused the strange polka dots to manifest all over his body. Since then, Abner has hated his mother deeply. In fact, he sees her face in everyone he looks at. Milton is an ally of Sol Soria. His job is to smuggle the Suicide Squad into the city by disguising their appearances so they don't raise suspicion. During the journey, Cleo shares the reason why she loves rats so much. Her father was a poor scientist in Portugal who invented a device to summon rats. Since they were homeless, Cleo used the rats to warm their bodies and survive the cold. When her father passed away, Cleo moved to the US but ended up in prison for theft. Her story reminds Bloodsport of his daughter. Bloodsport is terrified of rats because, when he was a child, his abusive father once locked him in a crate filled with rats.
Bloodsport and the team arrive at a nightclub, knowing that Thinker frequently visits the place, and sure enough, he shows up. Bloodsport holds Thinker at gunpoint, but suddenly armed soldiers storm the nightclub to conduct a sweep for American agents. Thinking fast, Bloodsport tells Cleo and Polka-Dot Man to escape with Thinker, while he and the others create a diversion by surrendering themselves. On the way out, Bloodsport, Peacemaker, and Rick Flag ambush and kill the soldiers who captured them, including the driver. With no one at the wheel, the truck goes off the road and crashes into a ravine. Miraculously, they all survive.
Meanwhile, Harley is being tortured by General Mateo Suarez's men, who demand to know how many members of the Suicide Squad were sent by the US. But Harley refuses to say a word. When she's left alone with one of the soldiers, she uses her acrobatic skills to strangle him with her legs and break free. She escapes with ease. Just as she's about to hail a taxi, she sees her teammates arriving to rescue her. Touched by their efforts, Harley runs into Flag's arms and hugs him tightly.
Go back inside and you can still do it. Or any of them, really.
Bloodsport and his team finally infiltrate Jotunheim by forcing Thinker to cooperate. Once inside, they lock the doors and plant explosives along the walls. Their mission is to destroy all traces of Project Starfish. But what they discover inside the lab is horrifying. They find that aliens are being bred inside. Civilians who opposed the regime were imprisoned here and used as test subjects, fed to starfish. And the worst part? There's a giant, grotesque starfish creature that's grown far larger than its original size when first discovered. This monster grows whenever it eats, and its diet is human flesh. Dr. Thinker then reveals a shocking truth. Project Starfish is actually a US government project. Since America didn't want to use its own citizens as test subjects, they partnered with the small nation of Corto Maltese to carry out the dirty work. Unfortunately, the Corto Maltese government that supported the US was overthrown by Luna and Suarez, two men who are staunchly anti-American. Flag retrieves the research data and stores it on a drive, intending to expose the whole operation to the public. The project has claimed the lives of countless innocent people, and he wants the truth to come out. But Peacemaker disagrees. He's fully against leaking the data. He doesn't want the world to know that America is the real villain behind this horror. If the truth gets out, it could spark international retaliation. As his name implies, Peacemaker will do whatever it takes to preserve peace for America, even if it means hiding the truth. Peacemaker pulls a gun on Flag, demanding the drive. But before he can act, the bombs planted on the walls go off, and the building begins to collapse. The explosion tears open the chamber holding the giant alien, allowing the monster starfish to break free. It grabs Dr. Thinker and kills him on the spot. Back inside, Peacemaker and Flag fight over the drive. In a brutal moment, Peacemaker stabs Flag directly in the heart, killing him. Cleo witnesses the entire scene as it unfolds. The drive happens to land near her. She grabs it and tries to escape, but Peacemaker catches her and prepares to shoot. The film then flashes back, 8 minutes before the explosion. Nanaue, also known as King Shark, wanders into a room filled with a massive aquarium. He sees a swarm of tiny, colorful fish that look incredibly cute. Meanwhile, Harley, Polka-Dot Man, Bloodsport, and Milton enter another room, only to be ambushed. Milton is killed during the attack. Polka-Dot Man retaliates by launching his explosive polka dots at the enemies standing near the very wall where they planted the bombs. This causes a massive explosion that brings the building crashing down. The tiny fish, which had seemed harmless, turn out to be vicious alien creatures. Once released, they attack King Shark and drag him with the flowing water. He falls out of the building and is immediately fired upon by soldiers, but Nanaue is bulletproof. He survives, kills, and even devours the soldiers. Meanwhile, the building splits into two. Harley, Polka-Dot Man, and Bloodsport leap across to the other half. The upper section collapses and crashes down onto Nanaue and several soldiers below. Harley and Polka-Dot Man safely make it to the other side. Bloodsport, however, slips and clings to a rope, but eventually he falls. And just at the moment he hits the ground, he lands directly in front of Peacemaker, who's about to shoot Cleo. Bloodsport fires and kills Peacemaker. Nanaue, despite being crushed under rubble, somehow survives. Not long after, the giant alien starfish, known as Starro the Conqueror, bursts out of the collapsed building. The massive creature attacks by releasing thousands of mini starfish. These creatures latch onto people's faces, suffocating them and taking control of their minds. General Suarez is killed during the chaos. Sol Soria and her rebels take this opportunity to overthrow the current regime, reclaiming power in the name of the people of Corto Maltese. Those who were attacked by the mini starfish rise again, now mind-controlled by Starro and acting under its command. Meanwhile, Waller watches everything unfold through her control room. She orders Bloodsport and his team to evacuate immediately, claiming the mission is complete now that Jotunheim is destroyed. But the team refuses to abandon the people of Corto Maltese. They defy Waller's orders and choose to fight the monster. Furious, Waller threatens to detonate the explosives implanted in their heads. But just as she's about to press the button, one of her own team members knocks her out with a blow to the head. She refuses to let the squad die just for doing the right thing. Bloodsport takes charge and commands his team to attack Starro. He tells Nanaue that the monster is Num Num, which means food. Hearing that, Nanaue gleefully charges to bite the giant starfish. Then, Bloodsport turns to Abner, aka Polka-Dot Man, and points toward the monster. Abner, that's your mom. Fired up by the hallucination, Abner unleashes a powerful attack on Starro, but tragically, the creature stomps him to death. Things get worse as the mind-controlled victims start swarming the squad. Bloodsport rescues Cleo, and when they're surrounded, Cleo summons millions of rats to fight back. Harley Quinn, meanwhile, jumps into action. Armed with the javelin gifted to her, she dives into the monster's eye and pierces it. Thousands of rats follow her through the open wound, swimming into Starro's eyeball and chewing through its blood vessels from the inside. From afar, Tyla watches everything unfold, watching her father become the hero who saves Corto Maltese. She tears up with pride. For the first time, she's truly proud of him. Bloodsport then makes a bold threat. If Waller dares kill the Suicide Squad with the detonators, he'll leak the data drive to the media. He also demands that his daughter Tyla be cleared of all charges. Waller accepts the deal, meaning the US government's involvement in Project Starfish stays buried. Bloodsport, Harley Quinn, Nanaue, and Cleo survive the mission. In the end, Bloodsport overcomes his fear of rats. And just when we think it's all over, we find out that Weasel, who was presumed dead at the beginning of the movie, actually survived. And that's how the wild story of the Suicide Squad ends. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye.